Well, good Sunday morning to you. Thank you for joining me with coffee on the porch. I'm John, the bearded Welshman. Wanted to welcome all the new subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, comment, engage in this YouTube channel. So, cool Sunday morning, but the sun is up. It's going to get up in the upper 70s today. Got a lot to get done today, so my coffee. Hot and black, of course. I'm doing something this year that I haven't done in a long time. We put a garden out with we're going to try to grow a lot of the vegetables that we eat. So we live on what used to be farmland, and I'm hoping the soil is still pretty fertile. I'm assuming it is, because if you look at our lawn, it's very thick, very lush, very green. It doesn't take a lot of work to make it look really nice. So, and that's the benefits of living what used to be a farm. Over 30 years ago, where I used to live, I had a house, and I put a garden out, and tomatoes, cucumbers, and carrots. I couldn't keep up. The carrots were huge. The tomatoes were everywhere. The cucumbers were, abundant. I mean, it was just crazy. And I couldn't figure it out how I got so lucky. And my neighbor said, "This is farmland. This was farmland." So, I guess that plays a part in it. But I took care of them. You know, weeded, watered, did what I had to do, and we just got to the point where it's like, it's too much food. So, and back then I didn't do anything like canning and preserving and stuff. And this year we're doing that and trying to become more self-reliant in a lot of things that we do. So, you ever notice? Well, before we go into that, last night went out to dinner at a well-known franchise steakhouse. I ordered the filet mignon, medium well. What they brought me looked like a sirloin steak. Tasted like a sirloin steak. It had no flavor, texture like a sirloin steak. When you were chewing it, very tough compared to a fillet. A fillet, if you cook the filet mignon right, it just falls apart in your mouth, and it's delicious. It's the best cut of the beef, I think. And then maybe a porterhouse or a T-bone. And I said to the missus, every dinner that we've gone out on in the past few weeks, we have spent our hard-earned money, and it has been a major disappointment. So we get our beef from a farm right up the road. It's all organic, naturally fed, whatever you want to call it. And the next cuts, I'm going to get him to throw in a couple of fillets. And I told my wife, I'll make you a filet mignon, and I'll show you what it's supposed to taste like. A filet mignon's not that thick, not that big, and you can get medallions, and you can get them smaller, like in the medallion size. But there's a 6 to 8 ounce, like that. This was a sirloin. Part of the problem, I think, is we don't have properly trained people working in those restaurants anymore. They have line cooks. They don't have chefs. And if you're going to charge that kind of a price because it says filet mignon, no, you got to do better than that. You got to provide a better service than that. one of the things I'm learning is with gardening, patience. Sorry, that's the dog. She's eating up her breakfast. Um, patience. We I put the seedlings of tomatoes in the planters, little planters, the cups. Now it's a waiting game. And me, I just want to pop like that. It got me to thinking about how we're a country of convenience, and it's probably one of our biggest downfalls in my book. We want something, we want it quickly, we want to get it fast, we want to get it now. So we run down to the convenience store. We run down to the um, Dollar General or whatever you call, and we quickly want to go in and get what we need to get out. We're always in a rush, always in a rush. It's always, you know, easy pass for the turnpike, uh, bigger highways, so we can get there quicker, faster speed limits. I remember our speed limit was 55. Gosh, oh, I don't know when it turned to 65 on our highways. Our turnpike is 70, but our 65 on our highways is we're always in a rush. We're always in a rush, and we don't take the time to slow down and enjoy things in life. We go to events. What do? We pop our phones out and we start filming everything. We don't live in the moment. We want to do something. We want to get there quickly. We want something made. Here's a convenience thing. You used to cook your dinners on a stove. Took about 20, 30 minutes to cook dinner. Microwaves came out. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Your dinner's ready. Um, and it got me to thinking about that. And it's just where subconsciously we've been working our way backwards to where we're slowing down. We're enjoying life. We're enjoying the fruits of our labor. As far as um, when you build something, it's a lot of hard work. It's hard work. It's time. It's your energy. It's mentally draining. But when you're done and you've created something, it's fascinating. It's a feeling you don't get very often. I paint. When I'm done with the painting and I step back and I look at the painting, I'm just so happy with the results. Um, I see some flaws and stuff, but more or less, I am happy with the results. And gardening's going to be that way too, but it's a long process. The potatoes I'm planting, russets, Kennebecks, Pontiac Reds, and Yukon Golds, they take about 90 to 110 days before you can pull those potatoes and use them. It's a long process. But in the meantime, you don't just plant them and water them. You plant them, you feed them. We have compost piles, so I'll be piling up compost over it, and as the stem grows up and grows out, we'll be compiling more and more and more. It's work. It's not just plant them and go away and watch. It's work. But the reward in the end is you're getting to the finished result, and you did that, and then you get to enjoy it because you get to eat it. It's sustenance. It's fuel for your body, and that's something I think that is very underappreciated in society today. The joy of working and tilling and doing and things with your hands and your body to get the end result. We want somebody else to do it. It's more convenient to go to the store and buy a bag of carrots than it is to grow them in the backyard. Think about how much you spend every time you spend money on eggs, and then you multiply that by how many times you buy eggs in a month, multiply that, get that out to a year. It's a lot of money. But for a couple of chickens, a coop, they can graze. The chickens can graze the grass. You can buy some hay and or some feed that if you want to feed them. But you can take your carrots, and this is what I learned: the stem that comes off, you pull the carrot and you cut the stem, you throw them in the rabbit bin or the chicken pen, and chickens will eat them. But you produce the eggs that you're eating, or ducks, whatever you prefer. I want to try ducks too, but over time, that small investment has paid off because you've spent way less on those few chickens to give you the eggs you need for your household. For us, it's just two people, so it's not a lot of chickens that I want to get. You can't match that, and they're straight from the chicken coop into your frying pan. The food today, they inject it with preservatives because they have to, because the FDA is involved, or whatever it's called, and you got to preserve. And you find some of these places, big names, that you go buy the meats off the shelf, and before they hit that refrigerator shelf in the store, they're sitting in a warehouse for 6 months. They inject them with a preservative that keeps them for 6 months. Well, then chemicals go into your body. Um, all the stuff that we eat, how much of it has got unnatural things in it that we bought from the stores that our bodies shouldn't be getting, and then we wonder why people get sick. We wonder why there's obesity. I think it's a contributing factor to obesity. Think about it. What do they do to chickens? They want them fat. They want them big and fat. That's what they want them. Because the farmers produce them I guess they sell them by the pound. And what are they giving those chickens? Fattening byproducts. What's in the chicken's system when you're eating it? Fattening byproducts. What's going to happen to you? You're going to gain weight. Um, that's just common sense. Now, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. But we need to take stock of, I think the pandemic didn't help any either. A lot of people were starting to do their own homesteading, um, self-reliance type stuff, because we found out in a really hard way that toilet paper, soap, milk, bread, all those things we couldn't get them like we could before. And we I you can sort of relate it to my grandmother in was in the depression. They were You had to be very resourceful, and they would save, and they didn't get rid of their bags or their tins that they got their food in from the store. And now they didn't go grocery shopping once a week like we did. They would go every day or every other day. They learned how to conserve and save, and how to be resourceful and use things that they had. And I think that's one of the benefits of the pandemic that um, happened, is we learned how to do that. And I think being resourceful and conserving and preparing and you know doing that sort of thing is a good thing, because you'll never be without. Um, since the pandemic started, we buy bulk toilet papers and stuff that I can't make, and we could have a little store. I mean, that's how much we get, because we never want to be caught in that situation again. So, and I'm learning to be resourceful, using what I have to build what I need, to do what I need to do. And I think that's very important too, that we as the society become more self-reliant, and not depend on others to give us some of the things that are necessities. The luxuries, it's a different thing. Necessities, like food, shelter, um, Do you have to have all the finest things in the world? Does you have to spend thousands of dollars on things that you really don't need? It's just it would look good and the neighbors would like it. Our friends and family, they would think it's great and it looks nice, and not knocking people that do that, but I mean, you have to really evaluate and assess that, where you want to go with that. And for us, it's we're simplifying things in our life. We're not we're not consuming more goods. We're cutting back, um, and that's the way I like it. I've always been a simple man. I don't complicate things. I don't like complicated things, and it's the way I do things in life. And now I've got the missus is on board, and we're scaling back on a lot of things. We're not doing some things. We're spending money on some things as frivolously as we used to. We're saving. We're conserving. We're preserving what we have. So as time goes by, I'll go through and show the garden maybe, and when we start canning and preserving some of that stuff, maybe I'll put some pictures up on here on my Instagram channel. But hope you all have a great Sunday. The Masters is on. Relax. I'll be watching that later today. It's my favorite tournament of the year. To me, it's like Christmas. The Masters, man. It's my favorite tournament. Such a rich tradition there. So, um, and I'm not a great golfer, but I love watching golf. So, have a great Sunday, everybody. I'll see you next time.